Hi everybody, this is Alessandra Ziviani coming to you from CPAC Live for Makeup Monday. Makeup Monday today we are going to be doing animal makeup, which is pretty in-depth, so don't get overwhelmed. Like I said with most of the makeup tutorials, there really isn't, you can do it. You can't really mess up. You can always fix things. So the point is not to panic. Yes. So with animal makeup, I'm going to be doing a cheetah today. You could probably saw it on the promo fit picture. With animal makeup, it's really important to do research before you attempt to do the makeup. I'm going to show you a picture that I am going to be pulling from. This is my cheetah that I'm going to be using. And I just want you to take a look. There's lots of triangular shapes. Like we'll see the white highlight up here. It's a triangular. Ooh, that's not good. Let me just fix it. So there's a triangular shape above the eye. We've got some lines. And we also have this triangular shape on the nose in a shadow that mirrors the black nose of the cheetah. So these are all things that I'm going to be mimicking, and I'll be showing you this picture as we move forward through the tutorial. There are a couple things, tricks that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making my nose wider. I'm going to be cutting my jawline off a little bit with highlight and shadow so that it looks like I have a different shaped face. I'm also going to be reshaping my forehead and my cheekbone area. So yeah, and I'm also going to be reshaping my eyes. So my eyes are actually going to go all the way up to my eyebrow line and then come down like this. All right, so let's get started. I have primer already on my face. Again, that's what you're going to want to use to make your makeup stick to your face. I'm also going to be using cream-based makeups. I am going to be applying the cream base a little bit differently this time around just because there are so many different patches of color throughout here. So I've got Ben Nye, I've got a yellow, this is bright yellow, which I'm going to be using sparingly because there's not so much bright yellow. More of this muted, this is goldenrod yellow. And then I have this shadow, which is cinnamon. And then I'm just using white and black. So let's get started. It's really important also. Now, if you don't have cream makeup, you can attempt to do this with powder. It probably is not going to be as vibrant. Again, if you're going to use powder makeup, make sure that you're wetting your makeup. Get a little cup with water and just dip your brush into that water and then apply that way because it'll make the powder more vibrant. And I'm going to do this all in cream, powder my face, and then I'm going to go over it in powder to pop it. Especially if I want to put some powder on there that has some sparkle. Let's say I was in The Lion King and I want to make my face really pop. So it's really important to use different brushes for this because we're going to be doing a lot of, it's almost like you're painting a picture the way we're going to be doing this today. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm just getting some of that goldenrod, and I'm just going to start applying it mostly to my nose area right now because that's where the most yellow is going to be, and to my forehead area. So just like this. And I'm leaving space for the highlight and shadow that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to kind of get it in there a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit on my cheeks for sure because I will have yellow in my cheeks. I'm leaving my eye right now because it's going to be all black with some white and I don't want to mess up the blending. So I'm just kind of doing these patches. I'm almost making like kind of looks like an anchor to a ship, my face right now. I'm also not going to be doing down here really. I'm going to do a little bit here. But most of my chin is going to be white. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get this up in my hairline a little bit more. And I have freckles, so I already have something to follow the spots of of a cheetah. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to widen out my nose a little bit before I put in the black. So I'm taking a fairly thick brush. I'm using this first, and then I'm going to have littler brushes for some of the more detailed work. So like I showed you before, here's the cheetah. So we can see the nose of the cheetah has this kind of upside down, it's like, you know, a triangle, and that goes up into almost like a black stripe up into its brow line. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do right now. So I have to know that I'm going to be putting black here. It's going to be as far away from my nose as possible, and then going straight up. Actually, I'll draw it for you. This is what I'm going to do for one of my eyes. I'm going to draw this line. And I want it really close to my eye because the cheetah's nose is so much wider, and I want to give an impression of it being wide. I'm also not wiping my eyebrows. You could wipe your eyebrows if you wanted to. I'm not doing it for this just because I'm wanting to use my eyebrow line to make the line of the eye. But I'm just kind of showing you the outline right now so that, and this is going to go under my eye like this. And I'm going to fill this in with more powders. I'm just going to show you that for now because I'm also going to bring it down like this because I'm going to use the marking of my socket of my eyelid to bring down that beautiful black facial mark on the cheetah. So I'm going to do that now so you can see how to do the shadowing of your nose. So here we go. I'm just going to bring that kind of downward like this. And I'm going to bring it out to my cheek. And I'm going to bring it to about here, I think, because I'm going to actually cheat my lip and make my cat lip on my lower lip and then paint my whole lips white for the muzzle. So here we go. I'm just gonna bring this down, and I'm using a black pencil because it's easier to do with the black pencil than, you know, with the cream makeup. So I'm kind of just I'm gonna leave it like right there. And it's a rough draft right now, so I'm gonna enhance this later, but she's just an outline of what I'm about to do. So here we go. And I just want to round this off. I'm rounding it off just a little bit. Okay, so back to the shadow. So I'm going to drop in some shadow right now. I'm going to drop it in just like this. It's my nose. It goes down straight on my picture. And I'm using my picture as a big reference because I with animal makeup, you need to. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just putting this kind of triangular, that upside down triangle that I showed you before. And I'm going to kind of feather this out, blend it out like that. And again, the good thing with this cream makeup is that you can mess with it later too. And I'm going to put a little shadow right here for my ocular brow. I'm going to do this here. There's a stripe going up this way. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Up like that. Just like that. I'm going to kind of make those meet right in the center of my nose. So now I've got some shadow going on, which is good. Next thing I'm going to do, just so you guys can see how I'm doing this, I'm going to cheat. Show you the picture again. So I'm going to cheat my nose. You see how the nose of the cheetah, it's almost like, it's like a square, it's squared off at the top and comes down into a point, almost like sort of like a heart. So what I'm going to do again to make my nose appear wider is I'm actually going to cut my nose down to here with the black. So I'm going to do this. And I'm trying to look at myself in the mirror and make sure that it's squared off. just like that. And I'm going to do like that, square it off. And it's a little difficult because, you know, your nostrils and your nose are at different depths. And so to make it appear straight is kind of difficult. You're going to do this again. You're going to kind of turn and I'm going to bring it out to my cheek because the cheetah's nose is kind of, you know, much wider than a human nose. So here, I'm just bringing it out a little bit, just like that. I'm going to bring it down. Just like that, bringing it down. Animal makeup is a lot of fun. You can do all sorts of things. So now I'm trying to mask it, so I'm going to actually be coloring in a little bit of my nostril as well. So you can't really see my skin tone. Just like that. And you can see already that it's made my nose appear, you like can't, this is my nose bridge because of the shadow. And I'm just gonna try to get it in my nostril as much as I can. And I can go back with powder and stuff later on. So here we go. And I just want to kind of keep it, it's kind of not even. So here we go. Ah, my sister is watching. I'm a cheetah. Okay, so here's the picture again. So I'm going to show you now that I'm going to kind of cheat my mouth. So there's my nose. And you see how delicate that little lip is, and it's black. So I'm going to attempt to bring I want my lip to be at this level. So I'm going to I'm going to draw my cat mouth, just like that, using the center line of my Cupid's bow, just like that. And I'm going to do this I'm going to extend it down a little bit to here. And I'm going to like this. And I'm drawing the end of my lip right now. This is like the finishing part of my lip. And draw it out like this. And obviously I'm going to go over this later. This is kind of my rough sketch. Again, my rough sketch. I'm going to switch to a different black pencil. So I'm going to rough sketch this out too. And again, I'm using my ocular fold right here. And I'm going to attempt to make this the same. So I'm going to pull it out just a little bit here. Bring it down. Going through the middle of my cheekbone. And I'm bringing it down basically at an angle to my lip right here. And I'm just gonna kind of trace out what I'm gonna do up here as well. So I'm just gonna go over my eyelid, my eyebrows, just like that. Because now I'm gonna start to fill in with the cream makeup. It's just kind of to keep me within my own lines, like that. Okay. So, I know this looks kind of crazy right now, but it's going to look better. So, what I'm going to do right now is before I get into it, because I'm going to finish with my white coloring. So, I'm going to start filling in with my black stuff. So, I'm taking a really small brush, it's really tiny, and it's really compact. And it's going to be good to get a lot of pigment placed. So, let me show you what I'm attempting to do with the eye. So you see how the eye is almost kind of like it's like an almond shaped, and then it has this kind of, from the top lid, it has this droop down kind of black cascade of color. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this as my finishing point. I'm going to actually bring it, I want it to bring it up a little bit, very cat-like. So you can see that I have now this little kind of flip up like that. And I'm going to fill this in just like that with, and this is the Ben Nye, this is the cream makeup. And you can see how glossy it is. It looks really nice. I'm just going to get in there with it and paint on my this whole eyelid. And, you know, the cream makeup, don't be worried, because as we do more of the face, your eyelid is going to kind of stick to each other. So before we powder, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to touch up the eye and then powder it so it sticks. Here we go. And I'm just filling in really gently because, you know, it is kind of detailed. You are really almost, it's almost like you're oil painting or something on your own face. So, but it's really meditative too. It's really like, you know, calming in a mad, mad world. It's the circle of life. And it moves us all. Here we go. I want to be in The Lion King. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's absolutely wonderful on stage. Okay. And so I'm going to come back later and powder my waterline so it looks completely black, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to leave it for now. So now I have a nice shape here for my eye. And you can see as when I crouch it down, it's starting to really look like an animal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just adjust this little, I'm going to make it fine tune this tip here. And then I'm going to cascade it down. I'm just looking at my picture because you want to really make sure, the thing about animal makeup, you really want to have your reference there because it really does make a difference. And you want to be able to double check you're making your patterns correctly. Okay, so this is good for now. I like this for now. It's kind of just giving me an idea. And I'm going to just fill in here. Again, you can see the difference with the cream. It's making it almost like glossy. It's like really coming alive. Bringing it down. Okay. I'm going to do it to my nose. And the cream will definitely help with the covering of the nostril bit. Just like that. And kind of just firm up my edges here. Just like that. And I'm going to wait on my lip because the lip has a tendency to smear because I'm talking, and also you're kind of, you know, doing this kind of thing over and over again. So I'm just not going to go there yet. I'm going to do this other eye now. And, you know, you could, if you wanted to, you could wipe your eyebrows. My eyebrows are so thick that I'm utilizing them as part of my fur. So there you go. And I'm going to do an underline here. Cats have natural mascara. My cat, Dude, he has the prettiest eyes. He's got golden mascara that lines his eye. Golden fur. Very pretty. So did my little girl cat, Nikki. She had like yellow fur that made her green eyes just pop. Lucky kittens. There we go. They're always ready for a ball. Their makeup ready. All right, so here we go again. I'm going to use my line. Oh, which eye? This eye? Here we go. So I'm going to attempt to do this little triangular bit again. There we go. And I'm bringing it down at an angle right to the corner of my eye like this. So we're making these kind of diagonals. And I just messed up my nose with my thumbnail. So here we go. I'm doing a diagonal down, just like that. And then I'm going to fill in. Just like that. Okay. So I'm looking to see how, it's always the thing. Can I get one side the same as the other side? And unfortunately, for the most part, you probably won't, but it's okay because, a little off symmetry is fine. But you can try your best. I'm just going to make this, I'm going to tip it out a little bit more. Just make it more cat-like and fill this up a little bit more. Okay. And now again, I'm going to do this cascade of color down this side of my eye. So I'm going to take it like this and bring it down into this yellow part, just like that. And then I'm just going to go over my nasal labial cat folds right here. And, it's kind of going out of the lines, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to be putting on so much more makeup, and I'm going to over it that I'm not worried about it yet because I'm going to fix it. Fix it later. I'm going to make this thick. Okay, so let me show you now. Let's go back to the picture of the cheetah so you guys can see it. Here we go. So here we are. So this is my face. This is the cheetah face. So we can see that the shape of the eyes is pretty much the same. It's gonna be changed now when I'm gonna put some highlight in. I'm gonna use the bright white soon. But pretty much we've got a fair, we're looking there. Okay, so now I'm gonna put in the white. You definitely wanna make sure that you're using a different brush because the white can get real messy real quick. So I'm gonna be using a small brush like this. I'm also gonna be using a larger brush for the bigger swaths of highlight that I'm gonna be using. I've got two whites, this is Ben Nye white, and I've got 2 pots of them actually. So if one gets real messy, you can also always just wipe it out. You can wipe it out with like a tissue, toilet paper, just like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna do the details of under my eyes. So I'm taking the small brush and I'm really loading it up with white. And for the cheetah, white goes underneath the eye and into this triangular spot right here. There's also gonna be some white up in this area as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it in. And I'm kind of using, as I start to do more detailed work, I really am gonna use this kind of like thick brush stroke work because it's going to make it appear like fur. So, and that's what I'm going for. It's kind of, I'm going for furry. And you can see it's kind of blending, and that's good because it does do that on the actual animal as well. Like there's a fade between the colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in here. Just like that. And drop in my highlight. And the highlight actually goes all the way up to this point where it switches down. It does like kind of a back switch with color. I'm also going to drop in a little highlight here, because there is some, just like that, on both sides. And I'm being really gentle because I'm on, and I'm going to actually wipe my brush a little bit because I see I'm getting a little bit of black covered in there. Thanks, Andrew. Rawr. Here we go. So I'm just going to drop a little bit of this highlight in, just like that. Okay. Now there's highlight on the nose too. Let me show you the picture again. It's subtle, but it's on the top of the nose right there. So I'm going to do the same thing because it's going to pop. It's going to give my nose dimension. So, and it kind of butts up right to the black of the nose. So here we go. Hi, Nori. Thank you for watching. Here we go. So that, and I'm just going to kind of, I'm stippling it, and I'm going to use my finger actually a little bit, and to give it a little bit more, I'm going to give it a little bit more dimension here. So just kind of that. I'm also going to drop some highlight in here because there is highlight like that. And I'm just going to clean my brush again because it's kind of getting all over the place. So here we go, a little highlight here and a little highlight here. And you know, it's good because it's showing the dimension of the muzzle of the animal. So we can see. I am gonna come back in and put more shadow in here as well. So now I'm also gonna do, since I'm here, I'm gonna start doing the muzzle. And this is where I'm gonna be covering up my lips. I'm gonna have to stop talking in a second because I hate stop talking. Here we go. There we are. Okay, so, and I'm gonna blend this later. I'm gonna add some things. Right now, again, it is kind of like you're doing oil painting. You're doing layers and layers of dimension. So, you know, just stay patient with yourself because, you know, it does take time to do makeup like this. This is gonna take me an hour, I think, at least. And so if it's your first time doing it, it might take you longer. But that's okay, because it's fun. Because we're having fun. And we love cats. Cats. Okay. And I'm just getting my whole lips here, just like that. Kind of blending it in like this. I'm going to do my chin now too. So I'm going to leave a little space just because I want to fill it in with some black later. So I'm leaving a little bit of a lip, but I'm going to go ahead and do my chin. And I'm not going to do all of my chin because, let me show you the picture again. You see the cheetah has a really tiny chin. So I'm going to fake my chin to not be as big. I'm going to do a false shadow here and false highlight so that we can really see a smaller cat face, a small cat face. I'm gonna go down here because the cat does have a lot of white, especially the cat that I'm using. Now, all cheetah's markings are different too. So my cheetah might not exactly look like your cheetah, which is fine. Because, you know, some cheetahs are older or, you know, this looked like a very feminine cheetah, which is why I decided to use her. She looks like her name is like, I don't know, something with an N, like Nadia. She's a Russian cheetah. Okay, here we go. And I'm just gonna do this because that's what's happening. I'm gonna actually use my finger and I'm gonna put in a bunch of highlight here. I'm kind of just rubbing it in there. And I'm bringing it up to my ears. And I'll show you this on the picture in a second too. The cheetah does have a lot of white coming into their cheek line, just like that. Hi, Amy. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm gonna take another brush like this. You know what? I'm actually gonna use my sponge and I'm gonna do my jawline. I'm using the Cinnamon again from Ben Nye, and I'm just gonna drop in this dark color, just like that. And I'm gonna blend it in a second, obviously, but I'm just kind of doing a general thing. So now you can see, I'm gonna back up a little bit. You can kind of see I've cut my chin off a little bit. And I'm gonna go back in with my highlight with a bigger brush actually this time. And I'm gonna just blend it like this. And it's cut my jawline off. So now you can see that from far away, obviously if you're right next to me, you're like, why do you have a giant brown line on the bottom of your chin? But this is for distance. So far away, my face looks very cut off here. It could even look more cut off. So I'm just gonna do that. Great. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in actually with my brown and do a little touch up of things, just because we've got most of the color in now. I'm gonna do a little touch up here because I want some definition of depth. Just like that. Touch my, and I'm gonna use my finger to blend the edge. Just like that. I'm blending the edge, and I'm gonna blend the edge up here too. Hold on, just making sure that my picture is still staying. I'm gonna come down in here a little bit. Just like that. And I'm also gonna do some here. And I'm following my picture. And some of this is the actual contour of the animal, and some of it now is the pattern of the fur. And I'm gonna put some shadow up in my temple line. I'm also gonna right now I'm gonna shadow contour my forehead. So I'm gonna just make it look a little bit smaller. So again, I'm cutting my forehead off a little bit, and I'm just kind of wrapping it around my hairline like this. And it's gonna just give the appearance that my head is smaller than it is. And I'm doing that in my brow line as well. And I'm just gonna do a little bit here and a little bit here. And I'm gonna blend in a second. I'm just kind of dropping the color in for now. I'm just putting a little on my cheeks, and this is more for the texture of the fur. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm gonna blend this in here. And you can see as I'm doing this, it is making my head look smaller. Right like that, okay. And since I'm here now, I do have a highlight that I need to do above my eye. Let me show you the cat again. Here we go. So you can see the cheetah has almost like these triangular little upward eyebrows right next to its little furrows right there. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna give myself two little triangular eyebrows, and I've left them open. You can see I haven't put any color in there yet. So here we go. And I'm kind of you can see the motion and how I'm doing this. I'm stippling kind of just to mimic fur. And I'm being gentle around the edges because now I'm getting into the point of blending. And really, we're close to being in the finishing touches of this look. And I just want to kind of help myself along by the way that I'm applying the makeup, so I don't have to come back in and reapply. There we go, just like that. And that really kind of changes, you can see it changes the look again. Here we are, we're like coming together. We're coming together. And I'm just gonna go through here and enhance that. I'm actually going to drop some white in here as well, because now I'm getting into the texture of the fur. And come back in here. I'm going to drop some white up in here as well, because again, we're getting close to being finished. So I want to show you, and I'm kind of dabbing it in kind of the splotchy way, because that's the way the fur looks on the cat. You can kind of see I'm kind of doing this upward motion, almost like it looks like the light is hitting the different parts of the fur. I'm going to enhance this too. Now that we're getting close, I'm just going to kind of define it, redefine it. Okay, I'm going to do it here too. And I'm going to do some in my cheekbones now too, because this is where, again, I'm getting ready to put spots on myself. I'm going to put some up in here, up in my hairline. I'm just kind of like, now I'm not really following my, my picture. I'm just kind of feeling what feels right for this look that I have put on my face. So I'm just kind of seeing where would I have some spots, you know? And I'm going to do a little bit here too. And I'm actually going to put a little bit more on my nose, just a little more highlight right there. Like that. Put some highlight up in here. Like that. All right, now I'm going to come back in with my cinnamon color and kind of put in some spots. So I'm going to come in here just like that. And I'm just kind of, from the picture that I saw, I'm just kind of, it's more of like an intuitive, just kind of where you think it should go. And I am going to pop a little bit of my shadow here so you can see more. I'm just going to do like a hard line within the soft line so that it pops my look more. Kind of the same thing here. I'm going to do a hard line. And sometimes with makeup you can be timid with it, but with a look like this you really have to be bold. You can't really go wrong. It does look kind of crazy up close, but you're not going to be up close. You're going to be far away from the audience. And I'm going to do some darkness in here, kind of brings that muzzle down a little bit more, just like that. Fix this a little bit. Okay. And I'm just blending a little bit of my chin here. And I'm going to blend this up. And then I'm going to finish my mouth in a second as well. I'm just trying to get a little bit more definition in some of these areas for my spots. And then I am going to go back with some black for the spots, but they're the last that I'm going to do because they're, you know, black is kind of forever when you put it on your face. And you want to be sure that you're there. Okay. I'm going to finish my mouth right now. So I'm actually going to finish my mouth with a little bit of liquid eyeliner. I just dropped a brush. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm going to finish my mouth with a little bit of liquid eyeliner to define it and to keep it in place. And it kind of goes out in a triangle at the bottom of the lip. I'm trying to make sure that I'm got a straight line. And just like that. And I'm going to do a hard line here. And kind of a downward slope. Because that's what it looks like in my picture. And I'm just, right now I'm just trying to get it even. So. Like that. Rawr. Life's a jungle, cuz. You gotta put your war paint on. All right, so here we go. Now I'm just gonna fix it with a little bit of highlight. Oop. Don't panic, don't panic. It's all fixable. Here we go. I'm covering my lips again because I kind of smeared some black on it. That's okay. Go. And I'm just going underneath the black line of my lip. I'm really going to try to get my whole lip covered like that. And then I'll go over this again after I put powder on, because right now it's kind of smearing, but I'm not ready to put the powder on yet. And I'll go over it with powder. So I'm just kind of cleaning it up. Thinning it out, cleaning it up. Okay, so I'm looking at my cat again, and what I want to do is actually I'm going to put a little bit more shadow on my muzzle right here. Just like that. A little bit more here. I'm going to blend it in a little bit. Yeah. Make it look kind of even. Fix my shadow down here. Blend it. I'm kind of liking what's going on right now. So what I'm going to do actually now, before I put the powder on, is I'm going to do the black spots. Okay. So you want to be real gentle with yourself on this. And also I'm going to be using a different small brush, little small brush. And I'm looking at my cat, and I'm just going to drop in my black spots. And the black spots are kind of the bigger ones for the cat. I'm also going to do a little bit of detailing in here with some black because there is a little bit of texture in the eyes. So, and I want to get that in there. You know, there's a little bit of, like cats have this little fur, they've got this under fur, and I'm going to do that right here. I'm doing my little whisker points. And I'm just really taking the tip of my brush and just kind of touching my face with it. Just like that. And then I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm going to show you what the cat looks like again. So here's my cat, and you can see his mouth. He's got a little bit of like a half circle of dark underneath it. So I'm just going to kind of do that here, really lightly for now. Really lightly. And I'm going to do a little bit of kind of just a little definition of hair lines. Just like that. I'm also going to blend a little bit more of this white over in this area and kind of go over my black a little bit since I have it. And put more of my spots in. And fix my drop down. And it's interesting with the shape of their coat and the color that the black is always really close to the white on their spots. So I will probably go back in a second and add some white near the black so we can really see the definition. And I'm kind of, right now, I'm kind of just going around and making some of the black spots bigger so you can see them more. It's also giving just a little bit of definition too. Yeah. And it's important, this white part is important because in this white part of this coat is where these black spots really come up and pop. And I'll show you that in the picture as well. And I will go around with a little bit more white just to do that on my chin because they're really dramatic on the chin. Okay, so let me show you the cat. So look over in this area, right down there. Oops. So you can see the spots are super dramatic when they're just in the white coat. So I'm just gonna go around. I'm almost done now. I'm almost ready to put powder on my face. I'm just gonna do some really quick, like hyper definition of stuff. So I'm just wiping my brush off a little bit because it's kind of messy. It's hard because you know you're using so many different colors, and with the white and the black, it's just so easy to get them mixed. I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit here. This is the right one. Okay. All right, so now I'm just gonna pop in the white a little bit more just to make the black spots pop. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just doing this like last kind of finishing touches of the look. And you'll see that when I'm done and I go into powder, it's going to dull it a little bit, and that's why we're going to go over it with some powder because and then we also have the option to, you know, put some fun stuff in there like glitter. Like I've got a black powder that's got a glitter note to it, which I'm going to use around my eyes, which is going to really make my eyes pop. And it's, you know, for the stage, it's fun. I'm just, again, what I'm doing is I'm just adding the brightness of a little bit of new highlight. I'm not going to talk right now because I'm going to finish my lips and then I'm going to powder my face. So I'm not trying to smear everything. So here we go. All right, gonna powder. Started with my mouth first so I can talk again. I hate not talking. Go. I'll do my eyes. Like I said, some of the powder from my eyes, some of the cream makeup got kind of stuck to each other. So again, I'm going to go back in with powder and pop it. Pop and lock it. All right, so I'm powdered and now I'm going to go in and kind of fix some things with powder. So again, I'm using different brushes for the powder. I've got this awesome black that is got some sparkle to it. So I'm actually going to use it, like I said before, if you were watching earlier, I didn't do my waterline of my eye, but now I am going to because I'm going to use the powder to do it. So I'm just going to pull my eye down and I'm going to tap the black powder onto my waterline. And that's just going to make it seem that my full eye is black. You can really see the difference. It pops my eyeball color, everything. I'm going to do it over here. Great. And now I'm just going to go over with, I'm actually going to use a bigger brush now because I'm doing a bigger surface area. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to drop in this kind of shimmery black. And it's really going to give me full coverage. And it's going to give me a bit of shimmer and shine, which is great for the stage, especially if you're doing something fun like The Lion King. And I'm just gonna kind of go over it like that. And you can really see the difference. It's like already it's covering some of the, it's just making it really deep and dark and very, very kind of impressive. And so I'm gonna do that here. Get a good amount of it. Drop it in there, all the way up. Just like that. Animal makeup is so fun. I've done some birds before as well that are fun. With different cats are kind of easy because they have somewhat of a similar bone structure to a human face. It can be easier to start with because you have to get pretty creative with some of the other animals. And like I'm doing right here, I'm just kind of going over some of this. I'm going to go over my nose with this dark black as well, just because it's going to pop it. And there we go. I'm going to go over my lip too. It also adds kind of a layer of blending that you're not really able to get with the cream makeup. So it kind of just softens everything out as well. when you kind of finish with this powder. And I'm gonna do some of my spots. Do my drop down guy. Spots. Okay. And I'm also going to do this with some of the gold too. I've got this really pretty gold powder, which I'm going to do use as well too. I'm just going to clean this little brush off a little bit. And I'm just going to enhance some of my, like that, some of my gold areas, like my nose. I want to pop my nose a little bit more. It's kind of lost some of its definition. And also some of this part of my face. And it's just, you know, it just heightens the look. You're gonna catch the light when you're on stage this way. And it just, it gives depth to the look. I'm gonna do that here. Gives depth to your face. As you can see, it's pretty an involved process. And I'm just going around now, around some of these spots areas, and I'm just kind of dropping in this gold. And again, it's just to enhance this look. I'm gonna go up in here, give myself some more golden fur up in here. And then I'm also gonna do the same thing with some of the highlight as well. And I'm just finishing this side of my face. There we go. And I wanna do it to my mouth. So I'm just gonna take, I have this really pretty, oh, here it is. It's this pretty kind of sparkly, it's from MAC. It's called Forgery. It's Forgery, and there's another one, Vanilla. And I'm gonna use these to just kind of tap down my lips and give them a little bit of protection. And I'm just looking for the right brush right now. I'm just gonna use this because it's compacted. And I'm just gonna, you can see I'm just defining, I'm just patting down some of this. And it's gonna give me an extra layer of protection when I'm on the stage. And it's really gonna pop. There we go. I'm almost done. Like I said, you can get really into this and never be done. Just continue applying makeup and makeup. And I'm just gonna do some of this under my eyes as well, because I want it, but I want my black to pop. I want my white to pop too. Just like that. I'm giving myself some like fur that pops. Texture. And you can see I'm just going over what I've already done with this kind of sparkly white. Just like that. And now I'm pretty happy with this. I could keep going, but this is basically it. I am going to put some mascara on just because it's going to pop my eyes more. It's not really, what cheetahs wear, but this cheetah does. So here we go. I'm just going to put a little bit of mascara on. And it's going to just make my eyes look lifted. And there we have it. We are a cheetah. And then I would have like a wig of some sort. And I could go on like this. I'm about to get you. So that's my cheetah makeup for today. I hope that this was informative. Again, we'll take a look at our picture of our cheetah and see how well we did. But I think we did, yeah. I'm a cheetah. Pretty good job. If you have any questions, please post them. I'd love to see you guys do your own makeup. I know it might be a little difficult because you probably all don't have cream makeup, but other than that, I think that you could try it with some powder. You might be able to do a very similar thing to this. It might not be as vibrant, but it will still be fun to look at. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next Monday, Makeup Monday. All right.